Hey guys, I'm here with Jason Atkins, aka Greazy Keyz, the organist for the Charlotte Checkers, and we're heading into the Calder Cup Finals tonight, and it's just been such like a decade for you here with this team.
Absolutely.
What is it like heading into this Calder Cup?
There's nothing like going into playoffs because as the regular season kicks in, we schedule it, everyone's locked in, but when playoffs come up, it's always just extra nutty because, on top of playing with the Checkers, I'm also just a full-time musician, so it kind of makes the schedule a little crazy come playoff time. But luckily, all my other gigs, they understand the importance of being a part of, AHL, and then here with the Checkers making the finals and the Calder Cup chase, there's no place else I'd want to be. Yes.
How did you fall into this?
As someone who knew someone who knew someone. In Charlotte, North Carolina, there's a very vibrant music community. Although it's not known as a musical town, there is still a very strong musical community. And in 2015, when the Checkers were moving back to the Bojangles Coliseum from, at the time, the Bobcats Arena, or aka Spectrum Center, they wanted to bring back the element of the Hammond organ. And a friend of mine was the piano teacher for someone in the front office. And so just being a friend of a friend and being willing to take on a new gig that I had never experienced before. And luckily, when I came in and auditioned for the Checkers, they had this beautiful 1950s Hammond C3 organ sitting in the corner. And for any keyboard player, they know that a Hammond organ is sort of like the pinnacle of coolness. Yeah. So, once I saw that and sat down, and what's wild is it's not just something that you just turn on. There's an actual series of switches and buttons to even turn the thing on.
I just want to start by saying, start this next part by saying, I love talking to people who are clearly passionate about what they're doing. Yeah. And I feel like you could talk for hours just on instruments and working through all of that on its own. But, being here, how has that music in an arena kind of shifted or altered how you approach things outside of here as well?
Well, honestly, it's really kind of drawn me closer to want to be, again, a part of the games here, because for a live musician, obviously, we crave that attention, we crave the audience, we crave the applause. And what's amazing is, people who bought tickets to come to a Checkers game or a hockey game or any sporting event, obviously music is not in the forefront of their minds. But for them to walk into an arena and see a live musician and make that impact has been unlike any other experience. And it doesn't matter whether it's kids, coming in for their first game, or longtime hockey fans. Like, the organ is such a nostalgic piece for many folks who have transplanted to Charlotte from, say, up north, where they grew up around hockey, around an organist in their hockey rink, that, it just makes it just that much more special. And for people to come in and see, oh my gosh, there's a live musician there, it really makes magic. It's the most magical experience that I can say that really genuinely exists in the world. We have the culmination of, high performance sports, live music, fans, super fans. It just creates this atmosphere that is unforgettable.
I mean, you're going to hear the music no matter what.
Right.
When you actually see, there's a person.
Yes.
You can connect the two.
Absolutely.
And I think, in sports, we do that with the athletes all the time, where we take a second and have to sit there and be like, oh, these are people.
Yeah.
Right. But also, the people who make the atmosphere work.
Right.
And I think that it's been fun to be able to watch you, especially this year.
Thank you.
But how has your own style kind of been incorporated?
Right.
There's an obvious arena sound that I think everyone kind of gets used to. But how have you been able to work your music preferences?
Well, my background in music, actually, I'm self-taught and grew up in a very jam-oriented background where people would just kind of get together. Maybe someone would call a song and we just kind of figure it out together. And I've been doing that for about 30 years. And so to me, being in an arena and feeding off the energy of the crowd, feeding off the energy of the game, that is like the ultimate jam session. So that makes me very comfortable. I'm very comfortable in a very, what would most musicians would think would be a very uncomfortable situation, where you walk in, don't know what the heck you're going to play. How are you going to entertain people for the next 2 hours? Well, that to me is sort of where the creativity is sparked, and a very comfortable zone for me. So to walk into an arena with 3,000 to 8,000 people, what the heck I'm going to play? I don't know.
And so you don't walk in with like any type of set list or any type of like,
now,
when this happens.
Through 10 seasons, I've definitely developed a long repertoire of music, and spanning past 50 years of music. And I'm always looking for the newest songs, or just great songs that hit that people recognize. And it's just a wonderful experience. And to me, that is the artistry in it, is bringing little tidbits, teasing songs that people recognize within a few seconds. Because once the game starts, that's pretty much what I have. Pre-game, I have the wonderful experience, for a 7 p.m. game like tonight. Gates will open at 5:30, 6 p.m. and I'll get an entire set of music. And I enjoy just to go out on the organ, and I'll play everything from the Beatles to Taylor Swift, whatever tickles my fancy that night. But then once the game starts, it's all about being ready and being prepared with 2 or 3 different songs, depending on the energy of the crowd, depending on the direction of the game, even in the last whistle. And so I have to have 2 or 3 songs, and really just the hooks of the songs. So that to me is the lot of, the real driving force is, what's a song that I could play 5 seconds of that people will recognize immediately. So that's what you hear. Have
you ever had one where you're kind of like, I'm going to try and trip you up a little bit?
Oh, absolutely.
Do something a little funky.
Every game, because what's great about it for me is I'm very accessible to fans. With a lot of Major League sports or anywhere else you may find an organist, there are a lot of times they're up high away in a press box somewhere. But here in the Bojangles Coliseum, the organ is down low. I'm right above the rink, and have fans sitting literally 2 or 3 feet behind me. And so I'll have folks coming up making song requests on the fly.
Okay.
And if I feel like I can listen to it, I'll listen to it in my ear real fast, and I'll pick up by ear. So if I can pick out a song in a few seconds, I will definitely try to play it. So, and it keeps it fun for me. And again, I'm really driven by the jam session atmosphere to me, that makes me feel comfortable. I don't think about, well, gosh, I'm the musician here entertaining 8,000 people. In my mind, I'm like, well, here I am at another jam session where I could be any night of the week.
Everyone's involved.
Everyone, exactly, and getting people clapping, getting people singing along, is the goal of the night, and creating memories.
All right, I have to do a couple really quick questions.
Sure, let's go.
All right, if you had to pitch coming to a Charlotte Checkers game
to
someone who's never been to a game before,
right,
what would you say?
I would say, come to a Charlotte Checkers game, experience the most entertaining mascot with Chubby in the world, and experience live music, where the DJ has taken hold of live sporting events for many, many places. Here at the Charlotte Coliseum, the Checkers, Bojangles Coliseum, we have the live vintage organ to create those new memories, as well as bring back the nostalgia of hockey of days of old.
Okay, well, do you have any final things for, Charlotte Checkers fans who are going to start pouring in here just a few minutes? I'm
just thrilled, again, to be your organist for 10 seasons with a championship already under my belt, but I would love to have another opportunity here. And I'm thrilled that not only am I going to be entertained tonight, but I'm going to have a few of my really talented musical friends joining me for a full band sound, pre-game and during the game with the organ. So again, I'm just thrilled that the Checkers are investing in and supporting live music along with the incredible experience of watching the hockey. So you guys come on out. We're here tonight, we're here Sunday afternoon, and I know that we are going to rock your socks. So let's go Checkers.